Oh, hi. This week, I'm gonna take you along for what a typical week is for me, which I don't know if there is such a thing, but I have what seems like a good balance of like my own stuff and then some brewery stuff and some other entrepreneurial adventures. So I don't know, this felt like a particularly interesting week to share with everybody, and I like doing the studio vlogs. I don't know if y'all prefer this over projects, if you like a mix of the two, but just thought I'd switch it up a little bit. But yeah, it is first thing Monday morning. It's about 7:15 and I'm gonna pour myself some coffee. We can plan out the week together. Okay, let's do the dang thing. Okay, before we do anything else, don't forget your meds. All right, coffee's been acquired. I am dressed. I am washed my face. Look at us go. Ooh. This is my weekly calendar. My monthly is above here, but it's the 31st of July, so we'll deal with that later. And then this here is my like ongoing project list. So I have video ideas and then specifically stuff I want to get done for GraniteCon. Normally down here I have like stuff for specific events, but I don't have any events booked until GraniteCon. Technically I applied for something early September, but like I don't know that I can do spring and summer outdoor markets anymore after the way this year has gone. So not worrying about that right now. Thankfully I've had like a smattering of Etsy sales this summer, so just gonna keep working on that. Anyway, let's erase last week, which, although first, did I forget to do anything? No, looking good. All right. Okay, first thing I like to fill is anything scheduled, like specifically, so it's usually brewery shifts, and I'm doing a farmer's market on Wednesday, doing an outdoor event on Saturday, and Thursday I'm actually doing an event that I created that we're calling Ales and Alterations, where I go and set up my sewing machine and just have people bring me things they need repaired while they go have a beer. So it's a really cool way to get my name out there. I had so much for the first one, this is my second time doing it, that I had to bring a bunch of stuff home and like deliver it to people the next day. So fingers crossed, like that continues. All right, cool. And then for appointments, I have therapy this week. So that is Wednesday. And I have a note in here for tomorrow that there's some kind of grant program through Spoonflower. I vaguely remember looking that up. It says it starts tomorrow and is due by the 15th. I'm glad I wrote myself notes for this. I will look into that later today and potentially fill out an application, I guess. So for my own stuff, I want to do this every day this week. So put this here. I'm not posting a video Friday, so I do kind of have to like remind myself about that. Or obviously I'm filming this week, but I'll edit it next week and it'll go up next Friday. Alright, so now's the part of the week where, other than like whatever the video idea is, usually on Mondays I like to film stuff, but since we're doing this, I don't have to like pick an actual project from this list or just somewhere else in my brain. So the thing I'm in the middle of in my studio is making some Howl's Moving Castle slouchy shoulder bags. I want to continue working on those. I don't know if I'll finish them all today, but I'll at least tell myself to prep the Howl bags. So if I don't get to assembly, I won't be hard on myself. If I do, cool. I'll have assemble Howl bags over here. And then if I get that task done early, then that's one less thing for me to do tomorrow. Then I like to do what my lovely friend Grant has described as to-done lists. So if there's something I've already taken care of, also give myself credit for that. Just empty the trash and took care of some dishes. Then, especially on days when I work at home, I'm very bad at remembering to feed myself just because I get really caught up in the project. So that's the one downside of like not going into a job somewhere, because I'm really good at like packing myself some food, but when I'm home I like just completely lose track of time. I'm going to tell myself to eat breakfast and then separately eat lunch. I don't feel like I drank enough water yesterday, so I'm pretty good about drinking water and having like a liquid IV or like a Gatorlight, like Pedialyte Gatorade kind of thing, because water doesn't cut it for me. I need like extra things to rehydrate myself. I need to make sure to remind myself to stay on top of that. So bottoms up. Also, it's just been so hot, so I've been very sweaty. So like, you gotta overcompensate. Then, the thing that annoys me the most, and I hate doing, but I have to do it every day, at least on weekdays, is posting on Instagram specifically, preferably like getting a new Etsy listing up. I don't worry about Saturdays and Sundays as much. I do feel like Sundays would be a good day to post, so I try to pick like one weekend day to do it. And then yeah, as things come up throughout the week, like eventually I'll have to do groceries and like make a grocery list and then go shopping and probably do some meal prep stuff. But I don't know what day I want to do it, so I don't want to like write it down and then have that hanging over me. Like, I know that has to get done, and I will put it up here on the day I decide to do it, but today is not that day. Just to get it over with, I think I'm going to post something. I want to just make stuff and then let the people that want to have it, but finding them is the hard part. The other thing I have to be mindful of that makes me want to drive a screwdriver into my ear is having to pay attention to the grid and like how the feed looks. I don't care about that as far as my personal Instagram, but when I'm applying for markets, that is something that they look at. Keeping that in mind is mind-numbing, but something I have to like be cognizant of. So sometimes I'll post stuff, like a reel. I'll find like a silly audio and I'll just like do a quick thing. But then sometimes I'll remove that from my main grid. I know I also feel like there are nails on a chalkboard me talking about this. I'll be quick. So I'll remove that from the grid, but I try to like keep the rows looking nice and even and like just pleasing to the eyeballs. I'm specifically gonna sit in an uncomfortable spot so that I don't end up digging around on my phone for the rest of the day. So there's a little bench where I put my shoes on. Let's hop over there. I did actually put shoes on because I definitely find days that I'm at home the whole time, I just get more stuff done when I have my shoes on. It feels more like a work day and like actually getting dressed. Anyways, forgot what I was doing. Oh, right. Making a post, especially first thing on a Monday morning. I just don't want to let myself get into like a social media rabbit hole. I got shit to do. Also, if you don't know what I mean as far as like the grid lines, so see the rainbow skull bags going on? I like that to stay as one row, and then the further down you go, like you can tell everything's kind of off by one photo, so I get a complete the row I'm working on. Although wait a second, because further down, the rows look how they should. Let me mess around with this for a minute. All right, I have math to do, which is not my favorite thing in the world. I'll let you know what I come up with. Oh man, I don't know where things went wrong, but that was about 20 minutes of my time just reconfiguring everything. But now it's back to complete rows. Look at that. Okay, I mean up towards the top is a little chaotic, but that's the stuff I recently posted, so like that's not an issue. The upside of going through this is there was an audio that played that I do want to use. That'll be like a nice quick thing I can post to just get it over with, because that took like all the energy out of my brain as far as like setting up the next row. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry about this. Okay.
Here's my coffee, and this is what I'm currently working on. What about you?
So that's the one I originally had up, and I want to use that audio again because it's probably been like a month or so since I've done that, and it's a cute, fun, quick one. Timing it is the hardest part, but this should go fairly quickly.
Here's my coffee.
No.
Here's my coffee, and this is what I'm currently working on. What about you? Here's my coffee.
All right, that timed pretty well.
This is what I'm currently working on. What about you? Here's my coffee.
All right, I'm happy with that. All right, I just added a little caption up top just in case someone can't hear what they're saying, because I certainly have a bunch of auditory processing issues, or just don't have the sound on. They can still tell what's happening. I'm glad I played that through one more time to make sure the placement was okay, because I definitely didn't type out the right words, so we're good now. I want to show this part because I'm very proud of the quilted panels, which is the main panels for my Howl's Moving Castle bag, so I want those to be in the thumbnail and just write a quick little caption. All right, happy Monday, gang. I'm making a new style in my Howl's Moving Castle bags. What are you up to? Yeah, I like it. And then once that's posted, it's probably good to share it as a story. Oh, and then just to save myself a little bit of work, I'm going to tag my personal thing. And here's a little trick. If you don't want to annoy people with having a bunch of like hashtags or at replies at things, you can just don't delete it, but you can just hide it a little bit off screen, and then it's still getting tagged, but you're not like cluttering up the page. Okay, I post that, and then tagging myself means I can just share that exact thing on my personal Instagram, because I'll share it as a story, but I don't have to like do anything else about it. I just gotta hit add to story. So as soon as it lets me switch, it is now 8:30. So this is what happens. All right, Sewing Nerd Studios mentioned you in a story. Add to your story. Okay. We're done social media-ing for the day. And I don't have any Etsy orders pending. I did get a question about something yesterday that I'm anticipating the person reaching out back to me, messaging me again, because I had a specific question about one of my tote bags. And actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm going to actually take a photo with a binder in the tote bag, because I guess whatever school their son goes to, they aren't allowed backpacks. They can only use totes, which is absurd, because at least a backpack, it's like evenly distributing the weight amongst both your shoulders, where totes, it's kind of like, yeah, no thank you. So I'm going to do that really quick, just in case that helps like encourage her to go for it. I don't know. I think it'll be helpful to have a visual. Oh my god. Also, I received a little package in the mail yesterday. I have already opened this, but I had a very long day yesterday, and I may or may not have cried a little bit. So thank you, Jeanette, for this incredible, this is incredible and so extremely thoughtful, and like, I didn't know that they made punches that it's like a stapler. It can like sit on my desk and I don't have to clench it with my hands, because after making that stencil for my most recent project, the Stinky Couture coat that I made for Bert, making the actual like holes for the stencil, my hands were like shaking later that day. I think this is going to save a lot of pain and frustration. I didn't know that this was an option, so thank you so much. Oh good. So I don't know if any of y'all post things on YouTube, but it will give you, and this is a good and bad thing, it will give you like a rank for how well your most recent video is doing. So this one is 4th out of 10, which I think is actually not too bad. I've been messing around with newer thumbnail styles. They're also just a lot easier to do than the other ones, and easier to see. Like, I can tell what all of these are from this very small view, because so many people watch it on their phone, where I just used to like put way too much into it. And yeah, this just involves a lot of coloring, to be honest, and it's super fun to make these. So like the new style, and they seem to like help a little bit more. I mean, none of my videos get a ton of views. Like the one I posted 2 weeks ago is at 57 views. So yeah, I don't rack them in. And yeah, there's a peek at like the income I get from this. It's like pennies a day that I earn posting videos. This is a whole month, and this $11.20 is from every video I have ever posted. And I've been doing this for a long ass time. Total, all together, that and the new stuff has totaled $11.20. This is why I put so much time and effort and thought into my Patreon and my Etsy shop, because the actual video ad revenue is only like $1 or $2 a week. Unfortunately, that is not going to pay my rent. So that is why I have to supplement with so many other things and still keep the part-time job that I have, and kind of create my own other jobs by making the trivia nights I've been doing and this Ales and Alterations night. So, you know, it's a constant spinning of plates. Okay, I was gonna start in on the project, but knowing me, I'm going to get sucked into the void for the next 3 or 4 hours, so I'm going to eat something so that half a day doesn't go by and then I'm like, I wonder why I feel like shit. I'm just gonna stay ahead of it, and then we can officially get into it. This is what happens, is things keep popping up throughout the day. It's 8:48 now, so it's been almost another 20 minutes. We'll still get a pretty full work day, and by pretty full, like, I easily put in like 10 to 12 hour days in here if I have the whole day to myself and don't have a brewery shift or like some other errands and chores to take care of. So this will probably be like a 10-hour day we're heading into, and I like it. I can't do it every day, and I did try to take at least part of one of the weekend days off this past weekend, so I feel well rested. I'm like chomping at the bit to do these hell bags. So food, and then dig into this project. I'm excited. I definitely got overwhelmed trying to pick out lining fabrics the other day, and that's when I tapped out. It was like midday Saturday, so I've had some time to like think it over, and I feel good about the choices that are happening. So breathe. Okay, time check. I'm glad I ate when I did, because it is 12:27. That was just doing the prep when I had already done so much of the prep, because I quilted these panels myself, which like was basically a whole day. So I spent a lot of hours into this already, and I haven't even started assembling. But I'm gonna break for lunch. I'm gonna sit, relax for a little bit, hang out with little Bert, and then start on assembly. Dang, that was a lot of time. But we're also doing 4, so I will feel very good once this whole pile is done. But it is very satisfying squanching this all together now that it's like very floofy. Oh, as far as the interfacing, usually I use like a fusible fleece or something like that. That's like an iron-on bag making interfacing, something like that. But I ran out of the fusible fleece that I had. I've gone through 2 hole bolts in the past couple years, which is just mind-blowing to me. But as I'm kind of doing this as like a stash busting project, because all of the reds I'm using for the linings and the yellows are things I already had here, and then I did buy the new blue and pink, but I knew it was going to get me to use up all this other stuff. So since I didn't have any of that, I was trying to think like what I could use up here instead of like going out to buy any more material. I did remember that I had what used to be Ursula tentacles from when I was at the costume shop, and it's something I've had stuffed in a bag for like 5 years now, so I used that up as much as I could. And I kept all the scraps. Like, it's perfect stuffing for Bert toys. Reduce, recycle, reuse, baby. Yeah, I'm just gonna like take it easy this afternoon, put these together, but I'm not gonna like frantically rush. I don't even have this part of the process on my list until tomorrow, so like I'm already ahead of the game. And speaking of lists, actually, let's go do a little midday check-in. All right, we've gotten howl bags prepped. I have eaten breakfast, eaten lunch. I have had an entire water bottle and then started a liquid IV bottle. It's just like a powdered mix that you put in that has a lot of electrolytes and stuff in it. We've been vlogging this whole time, and I did do the social media posting. So we are in very good shape. Done our list, and it is only, let's see, like 1:15? Yeah, is where we're at in the day. Also, this is my friend Anna's dog, Tank, because it's just the dopiest picture ever. It makes me happy every time I see it, but that's the whole thing, folks. So let's get ahead on the other thing, but then I won't feel pressure to like push myself on it, which I feel like will get me to get the things done because I don't have the pressure on myself, but we'll see. I don't know. Good morning. It's like 6:30 Tuesday morning. I somehow managed to get all 4 bags done before dinner time last night, so that felt pretty good, which means we can cross that off of here. So we are ahead of schedule. I realized today is August 1st, so time to redo this, but also that means it's time to sort out Patreon gifts. Now I'm debating between 2 things for this month, where either I put a bunch of time into making the next zine, which I don't have specific ideas for. You probably don't know unless you're one of the higher tier patrons. I make little zines that are like quarterly fashion zines. Well, I say quarterly. I've made 2 so far this year, and I probably should have made another one already. Actually, maybe I hold off until September, because I also want to plan out some outfits, because it's both helpful, like document stuff I have already made and maybe haven't shared. It's a cool way to like visualize it. It's good practice to like sketch out the outfits I want to make, but also give me time to mull over like what I want to make for fall, because I have stuff swirling around. But I don't know why I have a hard time like prioritizing my own clothes. Like, I know I do a lot of projects on here that I end up wearing, but if it's not like a super unique thing, I feel more selfish doing those when it's just like, I just need a new elastic waisted skirt. So I think that answers my own question between doing a zine or I have some bags that I would like to send out. So, right, spoonflower application. I think I'll do that first because I don't know what to expect as far as like the work of it all. I also have all my footage from yesterday. I was contemplating doing like a really quick edit because the amount of time I'm filming, like I'm gonna have to keep swapping out memory cards throughout the week, and I feel like I will get overwhelmed if I leave it all till next week to edit, because I'm gonna have hours and hours of footage, where normally I have between an hour and a half, and then I get it down to like 30-ish minutes, sometimes more, sometimes less. I don't go for a specific time amount, it's just whenever the video is done, the video is done. I do want to sew more inventory things, and there's a couple ideas I have floating around in my head. I'm just gonna kind of let myself be a little impulsive for the later half of today. Anyways, let me update this calendar and then, yeah, start in on basically more like admin-y side of things. I don't view the Patreon stuff as admin. It does involve me like usually sitting at my computer and taking care of some like shipping things, but I write out notes for everybody, and I just really like packaging things. Every time I send out a Patreon gift or an Etsy order, it's like wrapping Christmas presents, and I love it very much. Alright. Also, hi, happy August. My dad was a big proponent of kind of celebrating things for no reason. Like, he was a very happy Friday kind of guy, so whenever there's a new start to the month, I like to make a point to say that, because it kind of, I don't know, helps kick off things on a good note. Okay, and now is where I'll double check my actual calendar on my phone to see. Oh no, August has 31. Why? I know October has 31, but I thought for sure September had 31. I think September is my favorite month of the year. Probably a factor in why I'm like on top of things this week. I mean, it's only Tuesday, so we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Is we definitely had like early fall weather yesterday and Sunday and today. And it's definitely got to be that like wiring in my brain, like, oh, it's a fresh new school year, time to like be on my A game. That is my theory as to why I like end up getting a lot of stuff done come September. Also, like, my biggest event of the year, GraniteCon, is middle of September, so it's a good timing for all of that. Because in addition to like a new school year, I also used to run a camp thing, like a fully scheduled out event filled scout thing that we don't need to get into too much, because it was when I was still part of the church. There's a like religious aspect, and I left the church a long time ago, so I didn't like that part of it, but I liked the organizing part of it. I think that's why I like doing events at the brewery so much, and why am I gonna give myself credit and say because I'm good at it? I feel like I'm good at like the idea generation part of doing events, and like trying to figure out logistics. There's plenty of stuff I don't know how to do as far as logistics, just things I've never dealt with before, but I've pitched a number of ideas for us to do, and so far all of them have been successful, but it's because I had a lot of practice throughout like my entire life. So that retreat was something I did since I was like a toddler. Anyways, you know what also helps me stay on track is my Wellbutrin, where I don't know if I've ever talked about the actual medication I take. Like, hi, I'm not a doctor. This has been prescribed to me after like years of trying to figure things out. It's been working for me so far. The only other thing I tried was Ritalin on top of the Wellbutrin, and that was a bad time. I can get into that stuff more if anybody wants. I don't know if it's like overwhelming to talk about, but I did get diagnosed with ADHD like 2.5 years ago, and I started medication. Wait, was that 3 years ago? I've been on Wellbutrin for 1.5 years, and I started therapy 2 years ago, this month actually, where I used to go every week, and now it's every 3. And yeah, so I've dealt with like a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a therapist who's a licensed clinical social worker, and then also my primary care, who's a really great nurse practitioner that like fucking listens to me. I also used to have a really great OBGYN, but their practice just closed without telling me. I was literally getting ready to go to my appointment there and called just to double check. They were like, thank you for however many years of service. Where I had many terrible medical professionals that I was in the care of. So the fact that I have so many like good brain doctors is incredible. I do think my psychiatrist moved on somewhere else, and they obviously don't tell you where your doctor ends up going to, but she was incredibly helpful. So for medications, I take 150 milligrams of Wellbutrin, bupropion, yeah. So like the generic of Wellbutrin, I take that twice a day. It's a non-stimulant ADHD medication, off-label ADHD medication. It's also an antidepressant. I didn't realize I had depression until a couple years ago. I also take as needed lorazepam, which is a generic of Ativan. So like if I'm having a panic attack or something, it helps with that, or just like can't shut my brain off. It doesn't make me feel loopy or anything. Anyways, I have been talking for so long, so I'm gonna stop and fill this out. And then, yeah, start putting Spoonflower application together, and then do some Patreon stuff, and then do a post. I feel like I came up with an idea yesterday that I don't remember. That is my alarm for me to take my meds, which we've already done. We are off to the races. Very final step of the final thing I need to do today, which is putting the shipping labels on the Patreon packages. But I did just have to lay on the floor for probably like 45 minutes and have been very sick, so I'm tapping out after this. But I did do social media posts, I did the vlogging, I did the application, and then this, so that's my whole checklist. We'll go over it again tomorrow morning. It's like 11:15, so at least I got all my stuff done. But especially with having to do the farmer's market tomorrow, it's like a very physically intensive thing, and I want to be okay for that, so I'm gonna lay in bed if I can't fall asleep, which is unlikely. I have a couple books I'm in the middle of reading, so I think I'm gonna do that. But I did also want to mention that the real reason I was able to work so late last night is because Bert didn't come in raising hell because he needed dinner and wanted it early, because that is often what ends my work day in here, is he will not relent. I'm very appreciative that having the workflow that I have when I am not doing well, I am able to just tap out, and I was ahead of everything, so it's not like this is putting me behind in any way. And now I don't need to stress out about finding something else to work on, because I didn't have anything specific in mind, and I usually end up kind of just spinning in circles when that happens, so I just don't have to worry about that part. I feel like I'm a punch behind the eyes though, so I anticipate being asleep before 11 o'clock hits. See you tomorrow. Okay, hi. This just seems to be our check-in spot. So, it is Wednesday. It's about 9. Yeah, just before 9. Sorry, I'm trying to get down some antacids because it's been almost 24 hours of me like just tapping out. My partner very generously went out and got me some Panera soup in a bread bowl. And that revived me for part of the day yesterday. Just trying to keep up with fluids, but I have an appointment today, which I could do remotely. I'll see how I'm feeling in an hour, and maybe I will request a virtual appointment, but I don't have to drive very far to get to my therapist's office. And I know if something is going on during the appointment, like her more than anybody, I can be like, I'm so sorry, I have to go, and like her understand. So I think she'd actually be proud of me for stating my needs in that situation. So I didn't check anything off from yesterday, but we did. Spoonflower application, Patreon notes, packed the bags, shipped everything off, we vlogged, and we posted. Then we're working on this already, and I did already post some things to TikTok and Instagram, so not stressing out about that. If I come up with something else later today, cool, but I'm not going to worry about it otherwise. Today is going to be a grocery shopping day. I would like to do that soon, but I haven't come up with a list, and I need that before I get the groceries. And the thing is, I'm going to be working late tonight, so I don't want to then cook a whole thing once I'm home. So I would like to cook dinner between my therapy appointment and the farmer's market today. Because yeah, I'm not going to feel like doing anything more than just reheating some leftovers, but I have things I have to think of in order to do this. I think as long as I'm feeling okay, tomorrow will be a good sewing in the shop day for the first half of the day, and then I have my alterations night at the brewery, which I need to pack for. I never know what to bring. I say that as if I've done a bunch of them. I've done one of them, but it's hard to anticipate like who's going to need what. Like even just the colors of thread, like how much do I really bring? It's a lot to like anticipate. Not that people can't just leave stuff with me and I'll work on it here, because obviously I have more things available to me, but I think people are understanding of that. That's tomorrow's problem. I do want to get some more inventory sewing done, so probably more bags, more like spooky skeleton type bags, or I have this like tarot card fabric I like to use, because in addition to applying for that grant yesterday, which I'm very proud of, not that I'm going to hear back for like 2 months, but another exciting business update I have is that I got accepted into the first Mill Number 5 market of the season. So Mill Number 5 is this place down in Lowell, Massachusetts, where I do probably the most markets out of anywhere. Actually, I'm confident in saying I do the most markets there. I was doing like 1 or 2 a month this past season, but they don't run during the summer because it's just too hot in the building and everyone's on vacation and stuff. So they're starting up again in September. And in my experience doing farmers markets and stuff, the first one of the season usually gets a big draw. Like more people come out because they're like, oh, the thing I've been missing for a couple months is back. I'm hoping for good foot traffic for that reason. I also have high hopes about this market because it's an oddity themed market, which both as an attendee and as a vendor, I have seen the most foot traffic at Mill Number 5 for those events in particular. So that's September 9th. And they usually go like noon to 4. I'm feeling good about that. And a lot of stuff I've been working on has been, I don't know, it's a very like spooky bitch friendly event. So I feel good about what I'm going to have. The clothes I'm going to have, I think will suit that very well. So it's not like I have to change my entire inventory. That's exactly the kind of behavior I'm trying to avoid, and only pick markets that already fit in with what I'm already making. Nerdy stuff and spooky bitch shit. Anyways, I don't think I'll have any time in the shop today, which is okay. I am prioritizing taking care of myself. I do have an obligation this afternoon that like if I bail on, it doesn't happen for the place I work for. So like that's my main focus for today is making sure I'm well enough to get through that. So if that means I end up coming back to bed after I go to my appointment, we'll see. Oh, it's fun being a chronic sick kid. I love this. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna see what I can get done, and if I can get out to the store in the next like 20 minutes, I'll be able to go shopping before my appointment. Everything's fine. I didn't throw up so far today, so like we're on a roll so far. Okay, I did get a list done, and it only took me like 15 minutes. And I keep a lot of recipes in here. I have some like handwritten out ones, and then I have printed off ones in the back, but then there's just all like food magazines we get from local grocery stores and local newspapers, so I'll dig through those and save what I find interesting. Not all of them are bangers, but you won't know till you try. Okay, hi. I crossed everything off without y'all yesterday, because I was a bit of a mess. I got through the day though. I didn't throw up, shit my pants, or pass out, so I call it a win. I didn't have a high bar for the day, but I got grocery shopping done. I got the other errand I had to run sorted out. Survived therapy. I mean, I sit in a chair, so it's not like it's a huge effort. And then got through the farmer's market. Thankfully, it wasn't like excruciatingly hot yesterday, so it felt a lot more manageable. It was funny, like my body held off being extremely sick for the entirety of the farmer's market. Like I felt drained and a little tired, but not like actively nauseous or anything, or like I was on the verge of being sick. But then when I got home and I took a shower, I started to feel sick again. Not as intense as the previous 24 hours, but still not like the best time. So I'm gonna take it slow. It's about 10 o'clock. I've been up for probably an hour. I was up around 7, and then I felt a little off, so I just let myself go back to bed. Also, I'm doing an event this afternoon that's going to go from like 4 to 8, plus, window on either time of that for setup. And I got to haul a bunch of stuff around. So it's going to still be a full day, but I'm just starting it a little bit later. Yeah, I will have to pack the car. I don't think I've mentioned this because it's a very recent update, but I have a car now. I don't have a truck anymore, and it's weird. I have been driving for almost 20 years, and all but one of the vehicles I've had have been pickup trucks. But I will say I'm excited to have a vehicle that's better on gas, and when I do go to an event and I have all my stuff packed into the back of it, if I'm too tired to unload once I'm done, I don't have to worry about taking it out to avoid like any rain or morning dew getting on my stuff. I can just leave it in there and it's gonna be fine. Anyways, I'm gonna take it nice and easy, eat little bits of food, and all I want to do, like I'm probably gonna play a show or a movie on my laptop and just have a quiet day where I'm gonna cut out some fabric because I did get accepted to that oddities market. I have some specific fabric I've been holding on to for that particular event, so I'm gonna work on that. Oh, actually, I forgot. I can cross towel bags off of here because that was on my GraniteCon list. I have a couple more Sonic bags to make, but not even that many. And then dice earrings. Oh, I have ideas for dice earrings. Hold please. I wanted to make a more exciting mystery bag element for the dice earrings I'm going to be making, and necklaces probably. So I got a bunch of these, and I'll pack them with tissue paper. I honestly could have, and maybe should have, cut these out with my Cricut. And I guess if I sell out of all the ones that I prep, I can make more of these with the Cricut, and probably honestly a better design than this, because I would like a fully enclosed box, but it's fine. It was like 40 of these for $5 or $6. So anyway, that's my very exciting idea, is little mystery bag gift bags. In good shape. Well, my schedule's in good shape. Me, not so much. Good morning. It is Friday, the 4th of August. I got through my event last night. Thankfully, it was a slower event than last time, but still, I was not in any shape to be hustling. So I was actually appreciative of that. where I hemmed a pair of pants for someone's costume for Boston Fan Expo this weekend. Then someone brought in some like repair things, like there were some holes in shirts and some shorts and hoodie, like the cuffs were coming apart and the pockets were coming off. So I did all of that stuff. Fixed a pair of, like workout leggings, like the side seams at the top of the waistband were coming apart. So I actually just hand stitched it. I think it's called the ladder stitch, but I'm not 100% sure. I didn't document that. One person that did come to hang out gave me a bag of clothes to take home to work on, where I need to hem a bunch of pants and then also like take in the legs because they just don't like the shape of them. But they gave me a template to work with, so that couldn't be more straightforward. I'll get to work on that once I am done running my errands this morning. But that person is someone I've been friends with for a really long time, and I actually haven't seen them, honestly, probably in a couple years at this point. So it was really nice just getting to hang out with them and catch up for a bit. I really like shooting the shit with them. I ended up hand stitching those workout pants just because I was able to sit closer to them and didn't have to be behind my machine. And hand stitching small stuff once in a while is not super annoying to me. I haven't hand stitched anything in quite a while, so it was kind of nice just like getting a refresher, I guess. I did get some work done yesterday before I did my event. It is a little touch and go. I really wasn't sure in the like 2 hours leading up to the event. I'm not one to call out unless I truly can't function. And especially because it's not like I have brewery events every day and I don't have personal events every day. So when they are occurring, there's that much more like pressure to show up for them than if I was still working, you know, a Monday to Friday kind of job. I'd have a chance to like catch up on that work I was missing. If I called out on like a random Tuesday, I could get that work done the following day or something, but that's not how it works when it's an event-based job, and that's a lot of my own work and the brewery stuff. So that's why I was so adamant about getting through the farmers market and my event last night, because no, I wasn't on the clock for the brewery last night, but I am trying to get my name out there for my own business, and like if I don't show up for my second alterations night, I'm trying to make it a thing, isn't great, you know? So it was greatly appreciated that my body held together long enough to get through that. And then I went to bed as soon as I got in last night. I slept pretty well last night and Bert wasn't waking me up, thank goodness. But earlier in the day, I had some like bouts of gross to deal with. But when that wasn't happening, I didn't want to just keep sitting and doing nothing. I was getting really antsy because I'm not good at resting. So I thought if I just like sat and chilled, I started watching, I didn't know that there was a second season of Heartstopper. So I started watching that. I really like that show. I think if it had come out when I was a teenager, it would have been like chemically altering my brain. But I have this really cool tarot card fabric. So I got some keychain bags sorted out. I'm probably going to make them into proper like dog bags. But maybe I'll keep some of them as like the credit card size ones. I'm not really sure. I guess I can do a little bit of both. And then obviously like, I think I usually charge about $8 for the just keychain flat pouches for like credit cards or whatever. And then when I turn those into the dog bags, because it is that much more work, I think I usually do like $12 or $12.50, something like that. Maybe if I'm doing them at in-person events, I'll do 13 and then 2 for $25. I also cut out a couple of the dumpling pouches. I do like making these. I had debated not having any more, but also like I'm basically sold out of the ones that I made, so why wouldn't I make the ones that people want, especially in really fun fabrics like this. The only two I have left aren't the most exciting ones, so like completely understandable. I like this fabric. The only issue with the dumpling pouches is if you do it all in one piece like this, like sometimes, usually, I will have to cut the pieces in twain. So I'll add seam allowance to the bottom here so that when they attach, it's still the same size as if it was one whole piece, because you're supposed to cut on the fold. But this is a directional fabric. And when I was cutting out the big panels, because I'm going to make more of those summer festival slings, I have some sets that are in fact cut out the correct direction, and that's all great. But then there was a set I cut out upside down, and any other fabric I would have just used whatever I could for different bag patterns out of this big piece and not used it otherwise. But only specifically because it's tarot cards does it work being upside down. So I have two pieces that are upside down. So I'm gonna have two bags where one side is right side up, one side is upside down, because I think that'd just be like a fun little thing. It feels very serendipitous that it happened with that specific fabric. So, because it's not the only directional fabric I have, but I was obviously out of it enough that I wasn't paying attention. So it also works for the dumpling pouch, because if you cut it on folds and it comes up this way, one side's gonna be upside down. But again, it works for what we're doing. I'm excited about that. And then I cut up the rest. Ugh, I wish I had more of this fabric. I so desperately wish I did. But I cut up more of the rainbow skull stuff. I love it so much, but there's only 1 yard at the store. My kingdom for more of this fabric. But because this isn't directional, I did get a couple of dumpling pouches out of that as well, and some that were split in two. I was trying to use up every little bit that I could. So I'm pretty happy with all of this. The other nice thing is, I guess depending on what the vinyl is I'm adding to here, but it's very likely I'll end up using black thread for all of this, so I can do it all as a big batch. I'm also cutting out another one of this fabric here. I think I might just do one more of this because I sold the first one I made almost immediately. And it's not a huge print like the other ones, so it doesn't kind of just have to be the bigger bags. That's why I've been doing so many of the sling bags, is because the prints I've been using are just bigger prints. But something like this could work on like a smaller zipper pouch, or I don't know. I'm undecided what to do with it, but I think I'll cut one more out and then I'll still have some more to work with. Even if I cut 3 more out, I'll still have some to work with. Should I just cut 3 while I have it out? Okay, I'm gonna think about this later. Now's not the time. Then I made 2 out of this fabric. I still have one, but I did sell the other, like, again, almost immediately. At less than 12 hours after I posted it, actually. But the other one I want to get cut with this batch is this glow-in-the-dark, like critters in the forest fabric. I love it so much. And I love white birch trees. That's actually the state tree of New Hampshire. And then I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do for this one. If you have any thoughts, please let me know. I think I have 2 yards of this. I feel like there's something else I can do with this one for whatever reason. I feel like it doesn't want to be this kind of bag. But it made me think of like multiple different people that are all about black cats. And it's just such a funny print. I don't know. It makes me very happy. I'm not going to worry about doing more of that right now. What I need to do, the errand I need to run, is going to hopefully Joann's. I hope they have the colors I need in the type of fleece that I need, because I did get a custom order for another Howl's Moving Castle cardigan, and I'm so excited to make it. And it's so cool. I used to get genuinely sick to my stomach when someone would order something custom. It's why I haven't done it in my shop for years. As always, fuck turfs. But back in the day when I did Hogwarts robes for custom orders, I'd be like shaking sick the whole time I was working on it until I got it out the door, and then I just prayed the person didn't contact me with an issue. I was like, I don't want to think about it now that it's out of my hands. So not a great way to live, but I'm genuinely excited to make another Howl's cardigan. It's very cool. Oh, that reminds me, I need to check what color fleece I have. I'm pretty sure I have yellow, where I don't need a lot for the cardigan because it's just the cuffs and the collar band. So I might just need the pink and blue fabric. I also don't know if I have anything left over from any of those, but I'm gonna get a lot of yardage today just so I don't have to like run out if someone else custom orders one. I want to have a stockpile, and I've been meaning to do this, but I just haven't been out to a Joann's in a long time. I actively try not to buy new fabric. The one caveat to that is because I have this oddity market in about 5 weeks, is if I find more spooky bitch fabric that I get really excited about, because that's the stuff I always sell out of the quickest anytime I've
ever made something with like skulls or something on it, I'm drawn to it too. And then those are the harder ones to sell, but that means they're like really good and that feels nice. So I think just having as much of that as I want. I have a specific budget set aside for how much I will spend on that, and it's just what I earned last night, which was not all that much. I would like that to go towards materials. Reinvest, you know? All right, so let's check my fleece bin. Just down here. All right. This is what I don't necessarily want. This is like a thicker, it'll be fine, but it is a slightly bulkier fleece where I'd really prefer to use this lighter weight stuff. I know they're not the same shades of pink, so I would like to find a more salmony one, but I gotta see what my options are. Obviously, I can only work with what I can find. But, oh yeah, I have plenty of yellow. Yeah, that's definitely enough for what I need. Very cool. All right, I had thought I had enough left over. And this, yeah, it's not like the thinnest fleece I've ever used, but it's kind of a medium weight. Not that like thick blizzard Polar Tech fleece. I actually just want to cut like a little bit off of here and basically bring a swatch with me. I also need to remember I need more pink than blue because yes, I need equal parts pink and blue to quilt the panels for the front and back, but I also am making solid pink sleeves, so I need like twice as much of the blue, or sorry, twice as much of the pink. So that's the errand I need to run today. I think that's it though. I will check in a bit. Okay, hi. I found the other fabric I needed, and then I stopped at a Goodwill that has a by the pound room, and normally I like take a little while and walk through and see if I can find stuff like interfacing or like batting or any kind of material I know that'll get used. But when I walked in, it must have been like new release day or whatever, because it's like watching a pack of animals at some of those bins and literally watching fights break out amongst people. So I very swiftly walked back out of that room. I do not have time for such things. But I did get a little mini remnant of interfacing at Joann's that ended up costing me like $1.10 or something. So it's fusible fleece, probably a couple bags worth. And I guess they were doing a bunch of like doorbuster stuff today. I don't know. I'm a little out of it if that hasn't been coming across. Oh God. Also, it's the same day I just changed shirts because I got sneezed on by a tiny old dog. And it was just on me. Anyway, they had thread on sale, and normally these are like $10 a piece, but it's the good brand. It's Gooderman, and I like their quality of thread a lot. It was buy 3 get 3 free, so these ended up only being $5 a piece. So got stuffed up because I don't know if you know this, but I have a lot of sewing ahead of me. And then I got a smattering of half-yard cuts of some spooky fabrics. I didn't want to go too overboard with the yardage and everything. I want to have variety in what I have, but not like 17 of each thing, you know? So this is some more glow-in-the-dark fabric. I like it so much. Then I have this very like metallic situation happening. I just thought this was really pretty. So I think having this as a bag panel will be good. And then, not my usual color palette, but something about it being like not all gold, but there's like brushes of gold in it. And these aren't for me, they're for my shop and for having at events. So I think having a bigger range of colors will be beneficial, but yeah, it made me happy. I also got re-inspired to like print more of my own fabric. I just haven't felt like carving lino blocks or like inking stuff recently. I got 2 yards of this fabric because I can see oh so many uses of this, where this is basically a neutral for me. I can see this as a lining for stuff. I can see it as like a dress, panels for a dress, like maybe not the main panel, but like a side panel if I don't just want like solid colors. I ended up getting 6 yards of pink fleece and 4 yards of blue fleece. And hopefully I have enough yellow for a couple cardigans, because that's definitely more than I need
for one cardigan, but I figure while I'm here, load up, because all that stuff was on sale. Like, I couldn't even apply any coupons because everything was very on sale. And I'm not being hard on myself about spending more money on fabric before really earning it, but I'm prepping for events, you know? This is gonna be good inventory to have. It makes me very happy seeing all of this. I have every confidence I'll be able to earn that back with the stuff I am making. It is the investment side of things. And like, I earned a little bit last night. I probably went a little over budget. Oh no, because so much of it was for the thread. I spent like $30 on thread. So I was under budget for the like yardage I bought. It still feels like impulse purchases, but you heard all the planning before I even left the house. So it wasn't really, and it's all gonna get used for inventory. So anyway, even if I had just bought it for a frivolous project that didn't end up being a business expense type thing, it still would have been fine. I'm very excited about the new fabric I got. I still have this fabric laid out and ready to get cut. So it's like 2 o'clock. Yeah. And I'm gonna hang out in the shop, keep watching Heartstopper, and just let myself chill out and cut out some fabric until Bert stops me from working in here, probably. I actually don't know. Oh, today's Friday. I feel like I probably end this here, right? This feels like a good stopping point. You've seen me make the house moving castle cardigan before, so I'm doing that same one. It's the same size as the original one that I made too, so that's gonna be the same process. Although hopefully I don't cut 2 left fronts out and have to re-quilt the whole panel to get the other side. What a meathead. Obviously you're not seeing this today. I was about to say you'll see this next Friday, but it'll be next Friday when you're watching this because I haven't edited it yet. Oh boy. I'm very thankful that I get to spend my weeks doing the things that I'm doing. Like having the brewery job, I love it. It's great. I love the folks I work with. It's fun. And then also the fact they let me do events like the markets that I run there and doing this alterations night and doing trivia. Like, it's really cool to kind of flex that event coordination muscle because it's something I did a lot when I was younger, and then I just didn't work that part of my brain for years. So it's a skill set I have built over years and years and years, like the first 2/3 of my life, and I just haven't used it in a while. So getting back into it and then being successful ideas doesn't feel bad. So that is very cool. And as far as all the other stuff I've been doing at home, yes, I have the occasional Etsy order. Like, I think that was my first Etsy order in a couple of weeks, this howl cardigan that I got, but every little bit helps, you know? And I know I say it a lot, but it's because it's very true. I get to do this because of everybody over on Patreon. It's been my most stable form of income for a long time now, and the fact that y'all just keep rooting for me and like being in my corner and want me to succeed means so fucking much. So thank you all for continuing to be here and continuing the support and letting me have a week like this where I can tap out when I'm like at my limit and need some recovery time. I've had difficulties at other, Monday to Friday jobs because I have a lot of like chronic issues, and also hustle when I need to hustle, which I'm not shy about doing and probably do too much. But thank you for being here. I wish I had just been able to make cool stuff the whole time, but I wanted this to be an honest look like behind the scenes. And this is the reality of being me, is there are often weeks where like something is going wrong in this meat sack of mine. So I joke I have a lemon body for a reason. It serves me well most of the time. It will be a struggle, like it's been a hard week doing stuff, but I've still been able to get it done, and that is not something to be taken for granted. Anyways, I will see you back here with another video next Friday. Thank you so much for hanging out. I can't really think about anything else at the moment, so I'm following the dopamine.
Some more bags.
Also, hi, yes, I finally re-dyed my hair, if that was bothering you. I do a lot of outdoor events this time of year, meaning the sun just sucks the life out of it. You're welcome.